These are really the pillars of our community. They have inspired hundreds of people who have come through their shops and have had the honor and privilege of being with them over the years. And we can never take it for granted that entrepreneurship is going to happen by magic. It's hard work, it's sacrifice. You have good days and bad days, and you have to take risks to develop businesses. And you're looking at a family that should be emulated not only throughout the city of Boston, but throughout this nation, because they did pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Now, who among you can raise 12 children? And then to have them all be successful. So as I honor Sam, I'm also honoring his mother and his parents and the rest of the family. This is very brief, Grace, and it doesn't do justice to the great contributions made by this great family. But it will become a part of the city's archive. So 100 years from now, when the Lawson family has another reunion in the city of Boston of a couple of thousand people, tracing way back to the parents of this family, they can look up the records in the city of Boston and see that on this date, we honored Sam Lawson on behalf of his family. City of Boston and City Council official resolution. Be it resolved that the Boston City Council extends its congratulations to Mr. Sam Lawson in recognition of his over 40 years of providing professional barbering cosmetology services, as well as instructional training in the beauty industries, to the residents of the city of Boston. And be it further resolved that the Boston City Council extends its best wishes for continued success, and that this resolution be duly signed by the President of the City Council and attested to and copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the City of Boston. It's been duly signed and sealed, and it's my honor to make this presentation to our keynote speaker on behalf of his entire family, Mr. Sam Lawson, my barber. How's that? And he was my barber before I lost this hair, too. God bless you. I'm going to step in front of the podium for this photo op. Is that okay, Ted?
I'm going to be giving a presentation about their business, and so I would like to talk to you about
microphone. I have a bit of a cold, so please bear with me here. So my name is Talia White. I'm a blogger, I'm a journalist, and I'm a new media consultant, and I'm here today to give a presentation on how to create a social media strategy for your businesses. I can just tell you a little about myself. Like I said, I've been a freelance journalist for over 10 years. I've also been a nonprofit publicist, mostly in the developing world, in Africa and the Caribbean, also for that same amount of time. And about 6 years ago, I started blogging on my own blog called Global Wire, mostly dealing with social justice issues. Today, I do mostly blogging for MSNBC and WGBH. I don't know if you all are familiar with Basic Black. I work on that show. So, and like I also said, I'm also a new media consultant, and I mostly work through my consulting firm called Global Wire Associates, and I mostly work with traditionally marginalized groups and individuals, communities of color, low-income groups, women, on how to leverage their power. And so basically, I guess most of you are probably asking, what is a social media strategy, or how do you market yourselves online? The official term for social media marketing is that it's a term that describes the acts of using social networks, online communities, such as blogs, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Flickr, and other internet outlets for your marketing or sales or public relations or customer service around your business. If there's one thing that if you learn anything today from me, you can take away this quote. Internet users aren't destination focused. Stop trying to drive people to your site and start driving them to your content. Meaning that it's not just about just having a website anymore. I mean, you still need to have a website. However, a lot of people, they spend thousands of dollars on having really nice looking websites, but if you don't have content there that customers are interested in, it really doesn't matter. Today, you really have to be on multiple platforms. Like I said, you need to be using video, blogs, photos, a lot of other tools. And I can give you a few reasons why it's important specifically to have a social media strategy. For one, you can speak to your customers directly. In the past, you had to depend on getting an ad in a newspaper or a magazine or get a TV commercial, whereas having a blog or any other type of social media tool, you kind of bypass all of that and you go directly to your market. Second reason, social media, it's low cost or no cost at all. It's very inexpensive, and that's a really good thing if you're a startup business and you really don't have any money in your budget for marketing and publicity for your business. Most importantly, number 3, attract new customers or retain old customers. And also, when I say retain older customers, it's also staying relevant. You want to communicate to people on their level. Whether you like it or not, everybody's doing social media, or most people are, and if you want to stay competitive in the game today, no matter what business line of business you're in, you need to have some kind of social media or online presence going on for you. Also, a strategy helps to build your professional branding, and you can help control your organizational messaging to your customers. And what else? So here, there are also some things you should think about before you create a social media strategy. One, what is the mission? What is the objective of your company? What is the point? Things like that. Who is the audience? Who are you trying to reach out to? Are you, age demographics? Are you reaching out to mostly men or women, certain ethnic groups, people who speak different languages? Are you an international market-based company? I mean, these are all things you have to consider today. What is the ultimate goal? What is the point of, is this a long-term or a short-term project? A lot of people get involved in social media because they want to promote one very specific short-term project, or they want to do a more longer-term project. And most importantly, last and not least, how much time are you willing to spend training and using social media for your organization? The reality is, with a lot of these social media tools, they can be very labor-intensive, and a lot of people are not willing, or for a variety of reasons. But again, your time and energy and willingness to train to use social media for your business is very important. It's something that you have to consider before you embark on your strategy. And so once you have thought through all of those questions I presented to you, then you want to sit down and create your strategy. First thing is, you want to research the use of social media being used by your competitors. If you're, let's say you're a hairstylist and you're in the Boston area, you want to see what other hairstylists in the area are using. Are they on Facebook? Are they blogging? You want to do this because you want to develop a unique niche that can help you stand out so you can get more customers and retain your older customers. Evaluate what social media tools your organization should be realistically using. I know social media is the big thing now. Everybody's like, oh, we got to do Facebook, we should do YouTube, and realistically, that's probably not for you. So you need to do research into the different tools that you're possibly interested in using. It's going to be a lot of trial and error at first, but yeah. And another one, delegate who in your organization will be in charge of enforcing your social media strategy. Is it going to be you? Are you going to hire somebody who's going to be in charge? Because again, depending on what tools you'll be working on, it could be pretty labor intensive to, and you need somebody who's going to be in charge of, or you can have multiple people in charge. You can have somebody who's running your Twitter, somebody who's running your Facebook, someone who's doing the blog. So all the work isn't on one person. And once you have created a strategy, once you've said, okay, we're going to do this tool, you want to send out an announcement to your customer base, whether through an email or just email or any other strategy that you use for connecting with your customers currently, and let your core supporters know that these are the tools that you're using, and that's it. You want to get it going from there. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the more well-known social media tools. I mean, there are hundreds of them. I'd be here all day if I tried to explain all of them to you. I wish we had a projector. It'd be a lot easier to present these to you. But I'm going to just give you a brief overview of about 4 or 5 of the more popular social media tools, like LinkedIn. I don't know if anyone's familiar with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a business-oriented social networking site for connecting with other like-minded professionals. For your business specifically, you can start up a LinkedIn group, and from that group, you can manage the information that's publicly available about you as a professional. You can also find and be introduced to potential clients, service providers, and subject experts who come recommended to you. You can also create, discover, and collaborate on projects, gather data, share files, and solve problems. Be found for business opportunities and find potential business partners. And you can also post and distribute job listings as well. So if you had to do any of these social media tools, I highly recommend that everyone have a LinkedIn account. Even if you don't have a group, you should at least have a profile on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is pretty much an online Rolodex, and you really pretty much put up your resume, your whole work experience online so people can see you, and you can be found, and you can find other people who are also interested in you. Blogging, a lot of people are doing blogging. I do blogging. That's how I got started, as I said earlier. If you don't know what a blog is a regularly updated online journal with the most recent entry on top. It's generally written in a conversational manner and links to other news and information found online to complement the blogger's point of view. Blogs are generally either written by one person or a group of writers, and if it's written by a group of writers, it's a group blog. Readers of a blog can usually post a comment about what the blogger is talking about. Most blogs allow comments, but some don't. That's a judgment call that you would have to make on your own. Blogs are great for engaging readers with information about organizational news, upcoming events that your business is doing, any new projects or promotionals that you want your customers to know about. Blogs are also great for embedding audio, images, video that you may create. That all of these things can enhance how your blog looks and attract more people to it. YouTube. YouTube is a very popular video sharing website on which users can upload and share videos with the world. Like every minute, it's believed that 60,000 new videos are uploaded on the site. So the key to success on YouTube is creativity. It's really important that you have a unique niche and you stand out if you want to attract people to your channel. Speaking of channels, most businesses that have YouTube accounts, they create a channel, meaning you can find all of their videos there and you can learn everything about their businesses. Popular ways most businesses use YouTube is to create their own TV commercials or mini shows, or they might have customers do testimonials about their businesses online. You can also upload video of company events, or if you do speaking engagements, or if you do a media interview or something like that. I guess a good example is that I do publicity and marketing for Jamaica Way Books in Jamaica Plain, and they just started a YouTube channel, and they upload author video interviews. So every time they have a book reading there, authors are invited to do an interview with a staff member there. And the interviews are like 5 minutes, and it's really free publicity for the author. The author can talk about their book and their writing process, and the videos go online the next day. And it's like I said, it's free publicity for the author as well. It's a great marketing strategy for the store. Flickr. Flickr is another social media tool. It's a photo sharing website. It's the world's largest photo repository. It's popularly used by businesses for uploading photos of company events, as well as photos of your products and services, or photos of people using your services and products, especially famous people. So if you know any well-known people, make sure you get some pictures of them using your products and put it on your Flickr and your website, because that can drive traffic. Flickr is best used for businesses that are primarily dependent on services that are visually appealing, such as, if you're a hairstylist. I know that there's this big phenomenon in Atlanta. A lot of the hairstylists down there, they take pictures of all of their clients after they get their hair done up and put them up on Flickr. And with Atlanta being the black hair capital of the world, you can only imagine a lot of the hairstyles coming out of there. It's also great if you're a specialty cake maker. You bake specialty cakes. If you're a fashion jewelry designer, it's a great way to just put your images out there for people to see. And then there's Facebook. I'm assuming most people know what Facebook is. It's a popular social network. You can upload photos, videos, links to blog posts, websites. Many businesses create Facebook groups to update their customers on what's going on. Facebook is best used for mobilizing customers to do offline activities like RSVPing for events, or getting people into the stores for any discounts or promos, or even cross-promoting content from other social media tools. So if you have a YouTube channel, you can automatically share content onto your Facebook, or if you have a blog, you can share info onto your Facebook as well. And then there's Twitter. Twitter is the hot thing right now. That's a microblogging service that enables users to send and read messages known as tweets. And tweets are text-based characters displayed on the author's profile page and delivered to the author's subscribers, who are known as followers. And again, Twitter's best used for cross-posting content from other social media tools, as well as mobilizing customers to act immediately on promos or discounts. Like I know in New York there's a big, not just in New York, I think in LA too, in a lot of the big cities, a lot of the fancier restaurants, they might suddenly decide to have a special cocktail hour and say, well, come by our restaurant at 5 o'clock this evening, we'll be selling $1 cocktails or something. And then, of course, everyone's going to go to that restaurant as soon as they see that tweet. So, yeah, and there, and of course there are, like I said, there are tons of different social media tools out there. It's just really get out there and just try them. I guess one last thing I would say, judging success, you would have to, you would judge success by tracking any changes in traffic to your site. Do you see an uptick? Do you see more people buying your products and services? And then you want to ask them where they coming from. You want to track where people are coming from, and also track who is linking to your site as well, because you can do a search for your company on Google, just typing in whatever your business name is, and you can see where people are linking to you online, as well as you can create a Google alert, and you can have an email sent to you every day from the Google search engine telling you how many times your name appeared anywhere on the internet. As well as just be patient. A lot of people think that if they start doing all this social media stuff today, like they're going to see success overnight. And it just doesn't happen like that. You really have to be patient and be consistent. Did anyone have any questions? I've been talking for a long time. No?
Well, I would like to say, in that computer field, it is definitely something that everybody, whether you're in business or out of it, it's something that you're going to have to learn. Because they got it to the place now. If you go out looking for a job, you got to go on the internet to apply for the job. If you don't know anything about computers, you're lost. You got to get somebody that help you go online to fill an application to get this job. You don't go in an office no more and sit down and fill an application and give it to the whoever. It's all computer now. And even now, if you got a business, if you want to be updated with it, if you don't know anything about computer, you need to learn. Now, me, for my age. It's time for me to step aside now anyway. So I really ain't got to learn a whole lot about the computer. Okay? But no matter how old you are today, you need to know about what's going on in the world. Some people tell you, I don't listen to the news. I don't read the newspaper. Well, I'll tell you, you're in bad shape. You need to know what's going on in the world. Okay? You need to read the paper every day. You need to look at television, get the news. I buy a paper every day. I read. If anybody asks me, What do you read in the newspaper? I can tell them basic from front to back. Because it's meant to myself, I don't read it anyway. I read what's important. Okay? It don't take me an hour to do it. I can go through the paper in 25 minutes. And I can tell you most of what's important in that paper that you should already know. But computer is something that we all need to know how. I got two grandsons sitting right here, Jordan and King. They know computer. And their granddad don't know nothing about computer. But I tell you what, I'm gonna learn because we got a computer out there. All right, so I'm moving on my way. I'm gonna learn something about computer. We all need to know how. And most of the older guys in here right now probably don't know anything about how to use computer. Me, number one, I know very little bit. But check me out next year. It might help someone else learn how to use it. So I'm gonna know how. My two grandsons are taught me. All right? I'm just ready. All right.
So, huh? I'm almost done. Well, did anyone else have any questions or it's not working? Or comments? Yes. Okay. Oh.
First of all, thank God that I'm here. I was able to make this event, me and my family. I started off 5 years ago, cleaning service, called his name after my wife, in his cleaning service. I'm here to learn more about networking. You know, we've been in business for 5 years. I said to my wife, hey, we need to do something different. So I was already in the field of maintenance work. So I had a rag in my hand, solution. And I said to myself, you're right. So I said, hello, this got to work for me. Like, my daughter gave me a computer. I said, there's more to this thing than just sit. And you're right, it's about networking. That's what I'm here for today, is to try to keep what I have going and branching out and try to give it back to the community.
All right, all right, all right.
Thanks.
I just want to make a comment about the work that you do, blogging and that blogging has replaced a lot of newspapers. Bloggers are really the ones who are reporting the news and have a following. And so a lot of newspapers, are going out of business because of blogs. And people follow blogs. And I just want to commend Talia White for advancing in that field where we have a lot of bloggers are not people of color, and so she has taken that leap of faith, and I applaud her, but also to have her here to encourage others, but to encourage our youth to definitely.
Well, actually, there are a lot of black bloggers, believe it or not. There actually is a conference for black bloggers. It's called Blogging While Brown. We had our second meeting in Chicago in June. About 200 people came for that conference. And it's growing every year. Especially for black businesses, it's really important that we get on top of all of this technology stuff. If you're not a subscriber already, I'm assuming you are already, but you all should be reading Black Enterprise, because they really have stepped up their game and having more news and information about how our businesses can flourish more with all of these new technologies that are coming up. as well as, just staying in the loop with your professional organizations, going to conferences, go to seminars, just stay ahead of the game, take courses, do training. There's a website called lynda.com, lynda.com, and for $25 a month, you can go there and just learn about everything I just discussed. You can take video tutorials and on how to blog, how to set up a blog, how to do Facebook, how to do all of these things I just discussed. As well as you should visit the Small Business Administration's website. They too also have free video tutorials on how to market yourself better online. I mean, as a taxpayer, you all should be taking advantage of it anyway. So, but yeah, there are tons of resources online that we should be taking advantage of. Yeah. Were there any other questions or comments? Or?
Yes, I just want to make one more. And I don't want to overlook this young man right here. Everywhere you go, he's somewhere around. And we need people like him to be in our midst. This young man here, he's a retired police officer. Now he has gotten himself into photography. He's doing very well. And he knows what he's doing. That's important. I want to thank God for him. And I want y'all to thank God for him too. Because this man, he is a community man. He's a neighborhood man. He's a city of Boston man. I want everybody to thank him, thank him, thank him. All right?
Were there any other questions or comments? No? Okay, well, thank you for this. I'll be here for a couple more minutes if you have any other questions. But,
Our next presenter is Mr. J.D. Walker, and he's doing something really, really important in Boston. He's working with, he has his own business, and he's restructuring an old business, but he's also making it better for people who want to enter the field of push cart vending. When you go downtown, you see people with the push carts, selling off the push carts. And he's going to talk about all the tremendous work he's doing about getting all the red tape involved so that people in the community, people in Boston can get into the push cart business and the food business as well. Mr. J.D. Walker of Crop Circle Kitchen.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I do want to give an honor to God because without him, I would not be here.
All right.
I am one of those who have been through some serious issues medically in the past 3 years, starting out with staph infection, and I'm sure some of you guys have heard of that. But I've lost my hip to it, had a foot operation because of it, and have been in and out of the hospital for 3 years. They didn't think I was going to make it, so I really give my praise to God because without him, I wouldn't be here. But I would like to to talk to you this morning just a little bit about what we do. I do represent a company called Crop Circle Kitchen. I was formerly brought to Boston through Nuestra Culinary Ventures. Some of you guys might have heard of the Nuestra CDC for Housing and Development. They ran an incubator kitchen over here in Jamaica Plains. I'm located right next to the Sam Adams Brewery. And what we primarily do is we help guide people to get started up in their business, any type of culinary business, from professional caterings to bakers to food processings. And the last stage that I took on, because I saw that there was a need in the community, especially with minorities through the city of Boston, was getting into the push cart business. If anybody has ever researched this or thought about this, you will find out that it's very hard to get on board here in Boston to be in the push cart business. The sad part about it is the revenue that it can project is anywhere between $50,000 to $250,000 on a yearly basis. And this information is not open to us at all doors. So what we've been trying to do is break through that. The thing that I can provide is, number one, I run an industrial kitchen, 5,000 square feet facility. So I have a professional place where you can operate your business out of so that you are not doing it illegally out of your house. Second of all, our organization can guide you through how to set yourself up professionally in business, from registering your business name to getting your tax ID number, your insurance, your health permits, and all the above. We also give technical assistance on a monthly basis on financing, taxes, and how to grow your business. We offer free legal services through Goodwin and Proctor, which gives us free bono legal services to all minorities that operate through our organization. A little bit about the pushcart business. The first thing that I would recommend is anybody going into business whatsoever. My history started back about 28 years ago. I'm a professional chef, primarily did most of my my work in Durham, North Carolina, basically from Greensboro to Durham, North Carolina, and I've opened up and have operated over 17 restaurants. My last restaurant that I was partnership with, I was in partnership for 10 years, and then in 2001, decided to divorce restaurants and divorce the stoves because I wanted to get married and have a family. 2 years later, I successfully got married, and I have a family now, so life is good. But because of the demand in the restaurant business, I decided not to go back into it because I'm playing catch up on the family life and I'm really enjoying it. But one of the things that I was taught by a gentleman named Farad Ali out of Durham, North Carolina, who runs a place called the Institute, which is a minority funding organization in Durham, was the first thing that we have to do is, he says, when you go into your own business, you definitely have to dress the dress so that when people see you on a daily business, they no longer see you as J.D. Walker, but they see you as Nico's Cuisine. And what he was trying to let me know was I needed to come up with a theme of when people saw me, they saw me in my professional setting. So that when you saw me, you knew that it was about business. It wasn't about just talking about what's happening in the neighborhood or what was going on. And that's something that I'm trying to teach people here, because there is a big difference. So when you think about getting into the culinary business, the first thing you want to do is set yourself with an image so that people, especially people who've known you most of your life, look at you as a professional. It's no different if you become a deacon in a church and take on leadership. You need to carry a certain character behind you so that people respect you. But that also means that you have to live the life as well. Now, the second thing is, and you need to think about who your traffic is going to be and what type of menu you're going to attract. If it's just going to be hot dogs and sausages and things like that, you know, most of the vending businesses here in Boston are doing those things. So you're going to have a strategy on where you're going to play your field and where you're going to get licensed to set up and operate from. The second thing that I recommend is, after registering your business, is locating a kitchen facility that you can work out of. In the city of Boston, you cannot have a pushcart business legally and operate it from your house. I'll say that again. In the city of Boston, you cannot have a pushcart business legally and operate from your house. For those of you who might know people who do this or even cater out of their homes, beware, because a couple of things can happen. Anytime you hire a caterer or anybody in the food industry, even if they're set up properly, if they are operating improperly, their insurance will not cover any situations. So if you're running a business and you run a major event, let's say a Christmas party, and then all of a sudden 100, 200, 300 people get sick, severely sick. Let's just say a child dies. And you're thinking that because a caterer was responsible, their insurance is going to cover it. Well, if that caterer has been cooking out of his house, guess what? The responsibility has now fallen back on you. your organization, your business. So you will be sued as well. And it's something that here, especially in the state of Massachusetts, they take it very serious. And insurance companies, if they can find a loophole to get out of it where they are not responsible, they will back off of it and let you know that they are not going to cover you. So be very aware, even when you are in business and you're hiring caterers, you're hiring push cart vendors, or let's say if it's no difference from ordering a sandwich truck to come into a community to serve food through a basketball tournament in the park area, if they are not set up properly or if they're operating improperly, the liability now falls back on you. So I just wanted to make that clear. The other part is make sure that you do have good insurance, because you can have everything from a simple liability insurance that might cover you from under one suit. But my recommendation is always start off with $1 million policy. And getting started with $1 million policy for a pushcart vendor, it's only going to cost you between $350 to $450 for a year. For each million that you add on, it's only about $100 to $125 more per year. So if I had a $3 million policy, I'm only going to be paying about $650, $700 for the year for that policy. The other part of that policy I recommend is to make sure that you have a rider. The reason why you want a rider is because it will allow you to be basically sued up to 5 business days out of each week. Because some policies you might find them a little bit cheaper, but you might only be able to be sued one time out of the month. The problem with that is, more than likely, if you're going to have a liability issue, it's going to involve more than one person. So if it gets bad, you want to be able to cover yourself so that you can legally be sued 5 times a week for every week within 1 year. Because it's not like you're going to have one person suing you because you jacked them up with food and they ended up with food poisoning and they were out of work for a month. It's more likely going to hear a situation that happens occasionally at churches when they do homecomings and anniversaries, that it affect 300 to 500 people. Well, if you're going to be sued that many times within a year, the liability now is going to fall back on you, especially if you're not incorporated. And then the last part of it is to definitely, this is one area that I find so many times, and I feel free to say it here, especially with my people, my Black Americans, that we do not research enough information to have a backup plan from A to B to C. So a lot of times we will try to venture into something, but we don't have enough resources to really make it happen or to sustain ourselves. Or better yet, we don't have a game plan, so if A doesn't work, where do we go from there? We're stuck with game plan B. And what I try to do is teach people, number one, when they come into we can give you advice, we can send you out to organizations who can help you with your business plans. Some are free, they take longer, some you pay for. But the bottom line is, you want to know who your target market is, you want to know how you're going to carry yourself, you want to know what your product is that you're selling, and you have to know what your cost per unit is. Let's just say if I was selling a hot dog for $1, I need to know what the hot dog is going to cost me to make, and from my hand to put into your hand. But that also includes, in that price that I'm charging you, I have got to leave leeway so that I am making enough money off of each product I'm making to sustain my business. So if it costs me, let's just say, $2,500 a year from renting kitchen to paying on the loan on the cart, the push cart, to paying myself as an employee, and then paying for all the products that I have to put into that hot dog, I need to take each and every one of those things in account, basically on a 5-day period, let's say, and break it down to know what my cost is for every hot dog that I'm serving. Because otherwise, I could be working against myself and won't find out until 6 months down the road that I'm not making any money and I'm basically giving the hot dogs away for free. So these are things that we try to teach people. The last thing I would like to say is getting a location in the city of Boston is hard. It's hard for anyone, any color. But let me tell you, when it comes to us, it's really hard. These are things that my organization, Crop Circle Kitchen, can assist with because we go to bat for you. There are organizations, if you're thinking about getting into this business, you can contact the Boys and Girls Club over in Charlestown because they have a lot of locations. Dudley Square has a few locations as well. So you can go direct to the source and start investigating to see what it's going to cost to be able to set up your operation at these locations. You've seen several locations from downtown. Those locations usually have a waiting list of people behind because everybody's trying to get downtown to sell their foods. But the thing is that you do need permission to set up as a peddler in the city of Boston. So if you're going to move around from spot to spot, that's okay. But you have to get approval from the health department to be able to do that. And without getting that peddler's license, you are operating improperly, which means that your business is void and you're not really in business. Which means if you should ever have a problem, if the cart comes off the car and runs into a school bus and a couple of kids get injured and now you're in a courtroom, your insurance will refuse to pay because you were operating improperly. So that's all I have to say for the pushcart business, but what I can tell you is that it is a very good business. It's a hard business. Anything in the food business is not easy, but I think most of the people here in their own business will tell you it was never easy for them to start their business in the beginning anyway. The rewards is that by setting yourself up and getting out here in the communities, we need to captivate every area of business we can. It's not just for us. It is also for the younger ones coming behind us. Because if we don't learn how to move through and push through and play the political game to get where we need to be, we cannot teach our younger ones how to do this as well. And that's where I see that, more people are needed. To give you an example, the organization that hired me from North Carolina, brought me here from North Carolina, New Western Culinary Ventures, they decided last spring, to shut down the program because they didn't think it was viable to be helping minorities start their own business at a low cost. In my kitchen, the average cost per person is about $25 an hour. So it's not like you're paying thousands of dollars a month for rent. Well, when they decided to make this happen, I had 28 active companies working at my organization, which employed 78 jobs total. And with the economy the way it was last spring, that would have been devastating here to this area. But most of these companies have started out on their own money or have taken out small business loans to sustain their business, which would have folded and they would have defaulted on the loans. So we decided to take over the kitchen. We were not really in a position to do this financially, and I promised my family until I got my daughter through college, who's graduating this year from high school, that I would not venture into another business deal until I got my daughter in at least to her second year through college. Just because of the stress on my life and what I've been through, and to make my wife happy so that I am at home and thinking about the family and not 24/7 about a job. But I was able to bring in another organization. We created a nonprofit and took over the kitchen. We did this with our own funds. So I've been working still with this organization for 4 months with no pay. I'm here today without asking for a dime. The reason why I do what I do is because I think about the younger people coming behind me. If I need to get back out in the field and make money, I know that I can return to Durham, North Carolina and open up another restaurant and life will be fine. God has given me that. But the thing that I have to think about is, just as this gentleman was saying, I got to think about giving back into the community as I'm growing and getting older, to set people up behind me to be in a position where they can succeed and don't have to work as hard as I did. Don't have to lose money like I lost. And don't have to give up on education thinking that it's all about work in the kitchen and not thinking about my education. Because 3 years ago when my health defaulted on me, I could no longer stand and operate as a professional chef where I was making over $100,000 a year. I went from making money to making nothing. And the sad part about it is because I was self-employed. When I went for disability insurance, I was turned down 3 times. Even though the government was taking over 33% of my income for the past 10 years. So I learned a lot myself, but I learned a lot the hard way. So the reason why I'm here today is because if I can help somebody else not go down that path and set themselves up, where you might say, man, JD, you're making me do this, you're making me do that, you're making me set up this. Yes, I am. Why? Because I'm not only thinking about you, I'm also thinking about your children. Because if you learn how to do it properly, then you're going to teach them. And no matter what age of education they decide they don't want to continue school, at least they will have this behind them because they've seen that you worked this hard for it and they will have learned it. It will be in their blood. So that's all I have to say at this time. I thank you for your time. I would like to ask if there's any questions. Anybody have any questions at this time? I do not have a website up yet. I am working on it. Yes.
I can help you.
You can help me? Okay, great. But I am easy to find. I do have a few flyers. I will lay them out on the table that I'm at. I will leave them there. But I am, the name of my organization is called Crop Circle Kitchen, and I am easy to find. I'm in JP in Jamaica Plain, right across from the Sam Adams Brewery. So when people are trying to find me, what I tell them to do is look for Sam Adams, and then when you get there, just turn right around and you're going to see our doors. So thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
What is the average cost of a push cart downtown now?
An average cart for purchasing a push cart is $1,500 for a used push cart. That's average. If it's an ice cream truck or a slush truck or something like that, average used cost is about $700. If you're purchasing a brand new truck, one that will cook just primarily like the hot dogs, sausages, and things like this, you're looking at about $4,500 and up. Usually $4,500 to about $8,000. If your truck is a deep frying truck, which has to be specially made, you're looking at anywhere between $3,800 to about $5,500. And there are fundings for these trucks as well.
JD, how much does it cost to have your push cart downtown? What is the rent that you have to pay?
Average monthly cost for different locations downtown start at $500 a month. Average cost downtown runs about $250 a week, depending on location, prime location. And they actually charge by the week because people have a bad habit of not having their money at the end of the month. But like at Dudley Square, you can actually get properties over there at Dudley Square for about $75 to $100 a week to operate 5 to 7 days, depending on what you choose. Yes, sir.
Okay. To get that license, what would that license cost?
Your first license in setting up your business license is going to cost you $50. To get your business permit to operate here in the city of Boston, that will cost you $150, but it lasts for 3 years. So it's basically $50 a year. On top of that, you have to be ServSafe certified, which is a food handling certification. We actually teach this at our facility once a month. We are the cheapest in Boston. It's $155. Outside of that, you're going to need your insurance, which is about $350 to $450. And the last permit that you have is your city license from the health department, which is going to cost you $325. So basically, if you put all of that together, what it would cost you from start to finish if you have nothing here today and we're trying to get set up in business, the fastest you're going to move is about 2 weeks to make this happen. And your average cost is going to be about $1,100 to $1,200 to do this. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your time. God bless everybody, and the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JD, for taking out your time this Saturday to bring us information that can empower a nation. Before we bring up our next speaker, Sophia with Simple Site Solutions, we're going to have a presentation by, it will tell you what to invest in. Another thing, Robert Kiyosaki has a game. My kids play it all the time. It's called the Cash Flow Quadrant Game. Get your kids that game for Kwanzaa, for Christmas. Get it for yourself. Let's have some cash flow game nights at your house.
and invite us to come. Maybe I'll have that. If I have y'all email address, I'm gonna invite y'all out to a cash flow quadrant game so we can learn how to get out the rat race and get on the right-hand side of the quadrant.